whistleblower who helped expose allegations of Australian war crimes in Afghanistan has pleaded guilty to leaking classified information. David McBride was due to face trial next week, but changed his plea after a legal ruling scuppered his defense. McBride, an ex-military lawyer, said he felt a moral duty to speak up after his internal complaints were ignored. A landmark inquiry later found evidence that Australian forces had unlawfully killed 39 Afghans during the war. McBride admits he gave troves of documents to the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, ABC, because he was concerned about what he then thought was the over-investigation of troops, the court heard. He pleaded guilty on Friday to 3 charges of stealing and unlawfully sharing secret military information. The information he provided underpinned a series of reports in 2017 called the Afghan Files, which gave unprecedented insight into the operations of Australia's elite special forces in Afghanistan, and contained allegations of war crimes. McBride was arrested in 2019, and initially faced 5 charges, including charges of theft of Commonwealth property, breaching the Defence Act and unauthorised disclosure of information. He had intended to argue his disclosure was protected by whistleblower safeguards in Australia, but his legal team say they were forced to withdraw that defence after much of their arguments were ruled to endanger national security. After failed attempts to convince Attorney General Mark Dreyfus to intervene and drop the prosecution, as Mr. Dreyfus did in the case of fellow whistleblower Bernard Gollery last year, McBride then tried to argue that he had a duty to leaking the documents, because doing so was in the public interest. After several days of pre-trial argument, a judge rejected the argument and ruled that they could not be put to a jury. His defense lawyer Mark Davis said this would have dealt his defense a fatal blow, with McBride eventually entering a guilty plea. He is expected to be sentenced early next year.